Welcome back and welcome to another book talk. I haven't done a standalone book chat in a little while, so I have a couple of these coming up for you. You're welcome. Today I want to talk to you about Rage Becomes Her, The Power of Women's Anger by Soraya Chemaly. And I know I have been talking about wanting to read this one for a little while, and I keep starting it and stopping, and it's because I wanted to have like a decent crack at it, to sit down and read it and digest it almost all at once. So I actually waited until I got the audiobook. I put a hold on the audiobook from my library, and it just showed up like a week ago, so I read it, and I read it with me everywhere. It's not a short audiobook, you can see it's not a short book, but it was awesome, and it definitely kept me company in the car and in the gym, and I loved listening to it. I definitely recommend this one on audiobook, but having the physical book was great to be able to flick back and look at the various different sections. This book is just so honest, brutally honest, and I just feel like we all need a book like this. We need something that isn't going to dance around things and isn't going to sugarcoat things, and it's just going to tell it like it is. You know, I am a fan of reading about powerful women and amazing feminist stories, and this book is just chock full of them. So this book is broken down into various different categories. It does match my top today as well. So here we have the contents. So we have Mad Girls, Women Do Not Equal Toasters, Angry Bodies, The Caring Mandate, Mother Rage, Smile Baby, The Drip Drip Drip, There Are No Words, The Politics of Denial, and A Rage of Your Own. And I really like the way she used those subjects and those sort of headers as a springboard for the things that she talked about in that section. The Caring Mandate is one that really struck a chord with me. The fact that women are predominantly the carers in the home. So whether that's caring for children or caring for adults, they are predominantly the carers, and they often do that as an unpaid second job. And she talks about the fact that if the women who are carers at home for children were paid as nannies, and the women who are carers for elderly relatives, for example, were paid as nurses, how actually the country's profit would go up because there was more employment, and the sort of rate of employment would go up. It would reflect well, and like I hadn't even thought of it from that point of view before. Obviously I was aware of the fact that the stay-at-home parent doesn't get paid to be a stay-at-home parent, and that is a job in itself, and is a job that is often done in the role of a nanny that goes in and cares for other people's children. But the fact that, you look at it as actually affecting the country's economy, that was a really, really interesting one. I was glad that the politics was just one section, because I've read a lot of books lately that talk a lot about the change in politics in America and the effect that that has had on women in and out of jobs, and women who are Republicans and women who are Democrats. So it was nice to have that limited to just one section and to actually explore other areas. Angry Bodies was also a really interesting one, and the difference it can make to health, suppressing anger or expressing anger, and the ways in which we express anger and how that affects health. That was fascinating. Even if you just go away and look that up on the internet somewhere, what effect suppressing anger or holding in angry thoughts can have. A lot of the parts of the book are talked about through anecdotes or personal experiences of the author, but she also often begins different segments with a quote from somebody. So let me find you a good one. So this one at the beginning of The Caring Mandate is a quote from Sia. I've got a thick skin and an elastic heart. And these different quotes were all just really love this one. Well, all just really relevant to what they were talking about, and kind of puts you in the right frame of mind for thinking about that chapter and thinking about the things that chapter is going to cover. So at the beginning of Smile Baby, we've got a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. So it says, "Anger is one letter short of danger." Loved that. And then this one says at the beginning of There Are No Words, there is really no such thing as the voiceless. There are only the deliberately silenced or the preferably unheard. And that section about silencing women and the reasons behind it and the consequences of it and the thinking behind it, it blew me away. I'm glad that came towards the end, because it was a big thinker for me. I needed some time to digest it a little bit. And then the book itself as well has notes and notes on sources. So if you want to look closer at any of these quotes or any of the things she cited, and it also has an index. So this is something that I can put back on my shelf, and then when I want to read about a specific subject or find a quote about a specific subject, I can look to the index and turn to that page and find that quote. And I just thought it was incredibly well structured, incredibly well organised. She had a lot of things to say, and whilst I have read a lot of, as I say, books about strong women and books about powerful feminists recently, I felt like this was something different and this was something new, because this is specifically obviously talking about the power of women's anger, but it was just, it covers the stuff that they covered and then some. And like I say, a lot of it comes from personal experience, a lot of it is backed up through research and other people's experience and just real life issues. And I just thought it was fantastic. I highly recommend it. I loved the audiobook, so I will leave links to the physical book and the audiobook in the description box below should you want to check them out. And yeah, just highly recommend. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed so that my next video lands in your subscription feed. Let me know in the comments below if you have read this or you have anything similar that you would recommend. Always good to have further recommendations. What shall I read next after reading this? And I will be back with another video soon. So I will see you then. Bye.